Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. There's Dave over there, and we are taking a trip to Rob Zombie Land with House of 1,000 Corpses. Full disclosure, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love this movie so damn much. It's
Really?
yes. So I am so happy you watched it, and I just want to hear your thoughts on this crazy ass movie.
Here's okay. You said full disclosure. Full disclosure. I am not a big horror movie guy.
Correct.
I am not a big. I was forced to go see a lot of them with my buddy Dave back in the '80s, back in high school, and I was never a big horror guy. I've always heard Rob Zombie did good horror movies, or did like whatever he did was always had a weird edge to it. I want to word this the right way because I did enjoy this movie. I'm not a horror guy. I think I've said it a million times, and I want to make sure I'm saying this the right way. The editing, for me, is what really made this movie. The writing was good. The acting was good. Don't get me wrong. All that was pretty good. Some of the guys played their parts way over the top, like Sid Haig when he's playing the guy,
Captain Spaulding.
Captain Spaulding. Thank you. Couldn't remember his name. When he plays that character, he's just like he's just over the top. All the characters in the Firefly family are all over the top. Dr. Satan was just wow. Like you said, they got a waiting room. It's like what?
None of that makes.
None of it.
I got to stop you right. I got to stop you right there. When they finally show the infamous Dr. Satan in a waiting room in an underground cave, hooked up looking like Doc Ock with all this mechanicals, and it's like, I fucking love that scene. It's just like, this is cheese upon cheese, and it's glorious.
And for something that none of this should have worked as a story, number one, none of it should have worked. It was creepy, but it wasn't too creepy. The guy from The Office is
Rainn Wilson
made into a fish by one of the crazy Firefly families, and I'm just sitting there like, this is just so bizarre. Like I couldn't look away. I enjoyed the movie, and I recommend if you're a horror fan, if you're a Rob Zombie fan, see this movie because you'll probably really, really like it. I liked it. I won't watch this movie again. I just won't. It's just not my cup of tea. And then you said that you wanted to do what was the second one? The Derelict?
Oh.
No, that's not it.
No, it's holy crap, The Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Reject. I knew there was something weird.
There's a total of 3 movies in here. We start with House of 1,000 Corpses, then it goes to The Devil's Rejects, then 3 from Hell. Devil's Rejects is a big departure. It does not feel like it's the same type of movie.
Really?
It is. Okay. It is more violent. It is more gross. It is more in your face. It is intense.
Okay. All right.
It has humor, but man, it's up to a lot. And then the 3 from Hell, I've got to go back and watch it. I watched it when it first came out, and I didn't care for it because the overuse of CGI blood I found very distracting. But it almost feels like a Western. That's the vibe I got. So it's like you have 3 distinctly different movies. And the bad thing about 3 from Hell is Sid Haig was very sick when they started filming that. He is in it, but just for a brief moment, and then of course, he passed. Sid Haig is one of my favorites in these movies, especially the next one, because he's in it a lot. But they're very different movies. You're right. This House of 1,000 Corpses should not work, but I think because it pulls on every fucking horror movie trope. Here's the gas station. Oh, you don't want to go there. He told them not to go there.
Yeah, he was setting them up, but he was also telling them not to go there at the same time. His character's weird. I wasn't expecting it to end like that. Like I thought maybe, honestly, I thought at some point his character was going to go in and save that last girl.
Yeah.
I honestly thought he was going to just show up and just start shooting everybody and be like, Yeah, I'll kill these guys who are trying to rob me, but I'm not going to let
That would
somebody
have been an
innocent die.
interesting take.
See, to me, that would have been a better twist, because then the next one could have been those two on the run, like him trying to keep her alive.
Yeah.
That's how I would have written it. I'm
Interesting.
not Rob Zombie. I haven't got all his money. I don't have all his connections. Um, but the editing in this movie is what really got me. They do these little snippets in between the movie. Like you have the movie, and then they'll do a snippet of some of the characters doing something stupid or crazy or just totally insane, and then they go back to the main movie. But each one of those snippets kind of leads you or tells you a little bit of the story and
Hmm.
then leads you into what's going to happen next. Like when the girl is having the nightmare or what have you of the the graveyard of Dr. Satan's tombstone. That's
Yeah.
that's foreshadowing she's going to meet Dr. Satan. Everything just it all fit in a really weird, bizarre, I smoked too much pot and dropped too much acid sort of way.
Yeah.
This movie works. Okay, it's I don't want to say fun because it's
Oh, it's
not a,
fun. It's
it's
fun.
not a fun movie to me.
It's a fun movie. What about
I,
Karen Black as Mother Firefly?
she was surprising
Ooh.
because I was looking at her. I'm like, is that? And I had to just keep looking at her because she looked like Karen Black, but she didn't
Yep.
look like Karen Black.
Well, I
You know
mean, a
what I
lot of
mean?
years have passed.
Yeah, a lot of years have passed, but she was still okay looking, even with the
Yeah.
weird fucking teeth and the
The
hair and all
horrible
that.
teeth. Yeah.
But, oh my God, that sheriff, you're gonna tell me those two sheriffs were that stupid? The sheriff and the deputy or the state, whatever.
I
No,
know when Walter
I'm not
Goggins
buying
drops
any.
his gun, it's like, what the fuck,
Yeah,
man?
you never put your gun down when somebody tells you to drop your gun if you're a cop, because it's not going to end well. They're just going to try to shoot you. Um, but yeah, I did like the drawn out spot before the shooting, the shot. That was nice because you
Dude,
weren't sure how long that was going to go on.
that was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
That was
it went on
well
so long.
done. Well
Yeah,
done.
I think let's talk about Zombie for just a second. And I had said to you about the Monsters movie,
Right.
and I'm starting to stutter because I'm getting excited. Um, I, I've watched the trailers. I just watched the new trailer that you said you had watched. And I was
Right.
like, I haven't seen that one, and I pulled it up before we came on. Um, what do you think? Why are so many people hating on this?
I don't know.
Why do
I
you think? I mean, is there any reason? Because I've seen this. I don't see the problem with this Rob Zombie Monsters movie coming out. I don't
I
know if he's going to
think
make the money he thought he was going to make right now because it should have been a theatrical
it should have
release.
been. It should have been. But according to Rob Zombie, it was always a Netflix production. It was
Oh,
always going to
okay.
Netflix.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He didn't have a huge budget. Um, he responded to the haters online and said, "I don't know where you
Really?
guys are getting your budget figures. This was always a Netflix feature." And he
Right.
basically is like, "Fuck you. This is what I did." So
No,
yeah.
well, I just assumed that it was going to be released at the theater.
I thought so too. I think
Um,
a lot of us assumed that, but according to him, it was always going to be that way. Why? I just feel, and I could be completely wrong. I
uh,
think people think it is cool to just hate and be, as they say, edge lords. Be all
yeah.
edgy, and I'm going to hate on this. And I look at that Monsters trailer. Yes, it's cheesy, it's goofy, it's silly. Yeah. So is the TV show.
Yeah, it's the Monsters, folks.
It's the Monsters. It's not
We
highbrow. It's not serious. It's
And I said the one thing that I think I kind of had the problem with, but I can fix that on my own television
you
controls.
can turn it to black and white if you
I can
want.
turn it
Yeah,
to black and white. The color is just really vibrant to me, and I'm just
it's
like,
very bright, vibrant.
maybe he overdid it. But that might be part
We'll
of
see.
his storytelling in this.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you saw in House of a Thousand Corpses when they did the flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah,
The shit was he was really messing with saturation and just
yeah,
flipping color negatives and everything.
yeah.
So it was to make you uneasy and things. He plays with that. So I don't know why the hate. I think Rob. Well, here's the thing: people have hated on Rob Zombie since he redid Halloween. since the Halloween reboots.
Now I knew that
I
he did a Halloween. Was it any good?
he
I mean,
he
I
did
don't know.
one and two. He
Uh,
did Halloween 1 and 2, and I will go on record as saying I enjoy the hell out of both of those, and I'm one of many, but there's a lot of haters about that. Oh my God, you ruined it. You know what John Carpenter said was, anytime somebody makes one of my movies, I hold out my hand and a check appears. So
it's
John
like
Carpenter don't give a
magic.
fuck. It's
It's
like
like
magic.
magic. Watch this. Boom. Oh, I have a check. I'm going to buy a Cadillac.
And we were talking earlier. We were talking earlier how I have such issues with the last Aliens movie, and I
Right,
get
right,
it. I get having expectations of something and then having it. This is in your head. This is how it's supposed to be, and then it just
right,
doesn't come out. But that's damn it. Not everything can be a fucking hit.
right.
So
And the reason I brought up the monsters was I really wanted to talk about this, and I'm dumbfounded. I've seen it on YouTube because I watched a couple of shows on
right.
YouTube, and because of course I watched the monster trailer, I get all these people coming up complaining. On all of them are complaints. I have not seen one positive one, and I'm like, what are you guys watching that I'm not watching? What are you
Uh,
seeing that I'm not seeing? Is it because I'm older than you and I actually watched this show
Probably.
maybe its first reruns? I may even be old enough to have seen it the first time around. It's hard for me to remember because I'm old and
Yeah, I
sometimes
don't remember when it came
my
on. I
memories are.
remember being very young. It was always on the fucking TV.
Yeah. Now I'm a huge lover of the Addams Family, and the Munsters is second rate for me, second
Yeah.
tier for me. This Munsters movie may pop up because they haven't done the Munsters right since the series. They've tried to revamp it a couple of
Yeah.
times, and I think they've had two other series come out. They both were miserable fucking failures. I think Rob Zombie's got a weird enough sense of humor. You said people were hating on it because he put his wife in it. Well, I'm looking at his wife going, she's perfect for that part.
Yeah.
So far, what I've seen, to me, she's perfect. She plays in House of a Thousand Corpses, or Thousand Corpses in the
Yeah.
House, whatever it's called.
It's not 1,000 cats. It is 1,000 corpses.
Thank God it's not a thousand.
Thank you, Jesus.
I was watching her play the little blonde firefly chick. The
Baby.
totally ditzy one. Baby, is that what they were calling her?
Yep.
And all I could think of, and let me ask you this, I've not mentioned this to you yet. Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She could
And
have
I don't have a
played,
problem with that.
that was Harley Quinn. That's Harley Quinn's family. I know Harley Quinn was a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
but if you went into the Snyderverse universe, that's Harley Quinn. That's the family Harley Quinn had.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, she's very much. And maybe Sherry looked to Harley Quinn for that.
I was kind of wondering if the girl who played Harley Quinn in the movies looked at that character and was like, that's kind of how I want to play her.
You know what? That's interesting because this movie's, I forget what year this came out, but it's an old movie. It's not new.
It came out before the Harley Quinn stuff.
Oh, absolutely did.
I'm just wondering if that actress saw House of a Thousand Corpses and was like, that's a way to play Harley Quinn. She's totally insane.
I don't know. Baby Firefly is very insane in this movie. All the way from the moment they pick her up as a hitchhiker.
Ain't no fucking way. That girl would have been hitchhiking in the rain.
Oh my God.
I would never have gone out to that fucking house.
Never. Oh my God. And you know, the many times I've seen it, I've always wondered about, okay, let's roll back real quick for our listeners. House of a Thousand Corpses. I don't remember the year it came out. It's an older movie. It is not necessarily a slasher flick, but it hits a lot of these things where you got a group of kids who are going to go. Yeah, they're going to go explore the tree where Dr. Satan was hung. And it just so happens they get led to a house full of a bunch of murderous psychopaths. Every goddamn one of them. They don't make it out alive. It's crazy. It's over the top. There's some scenes I really love in here. When they have dinner and they have to stop for a little talent show.
See, to me, that right about then, I would have been making a beeline for that door. I'd have been running.
Now, when that happens, I have always questioned, could they have left had that woman not lost her shit and shoved baby?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I want to know why that guy stopped instead of just driving through the gate.
I know. I was like, punch it,
No,
bitch, punch it.
no. I don't care if some one of you fuckers is standing in front of me.
I'm
I'm
running you
running you
down.
over. I'm
Yeah.
running you over, and I'm going through that wall. And I ain't
I
coming back. I ain't
I
turning
feel
around.
I feel they were doomed from the beginning,
Yeah,
but I always wonder because these are psychopaths. You don't know how they're going to react,
right.
but you sure as hell are not going to antagonize them. I mean, everybody knew they were fucking crazy. I would have freaked out at that house. It's like, fuck, I'm
I'd
probably
have been
going to
gone.
die. Let me
I
try and
would
get
have
the fuck
never.
out of here.
I'd have never made it in. I'd have never made it in that door. I would have walked up on that porch, looked around, and went, "Oh, fuck this."
Yeah, all those dolls
I'm
on
the
it and
white
everything.
guy. I'm the white guy that doesn't go into rooms like that.
Yeah,
I may go into
exactly.
rooms that say employees only. Do not
Yeah.
enter. I may go in there, but I'm not going into a psychopath house.
Yeah,
Just
and they
not
were. And who
bad.
knows how long they've been doing shit like this. And it's just
Well, yeah, that was just, it's a weird movie. It's really, to me, this movie is made in the editing, honestly.
yeah.
I think I would love to ask him about this. Like, did you have a movie all completely made, Rob, and then look at it and go, it's dragging. I got too much here, got too much there. I need to do something here, and that's when he started putting in the little edits in the center, like in
I
between,
I
almost
wonder.
like
I think it's
scene
brilliant.
changes.
I think it's
Yeah,
brilliant because
because it was really
this
well
movie
done.
goes fast. This movie goes fast. It's not I was never bored.
Does it keep some stuff like that in the next movie?
Not really.
No. See, I would have kept that. If nothing else, I would have kept something to keep the string of all the product. You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
feels to me. I'm gonna watch Devil's Reject soon, just because now I got to watch the trilogy again. Um, but
It'll
it's
be a
so
long
different.
time before
It's
I
so
can
different.
get to that. Before I can watch that. This one did me in for a while for monster movies.
You will. Devil's Rejects is fucked up, and it just shows you how horrible people can be.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
is really fucked up. And Devil's Rejects ends with the firefighter. It's Otis, Baby, and Spalding in that convertible
Uh,
heading toward a police roadblock with I think Leonard Skinner is playing as the music, and the police are opening fire, and they're just being shot full of bullet holes and everything. And the movie ends.
uh,
Then the third movie comes out, and you find out they all survived. So I felt at the time that Three from Hell was just a cash grab. I don't blame Rob. Yeah, let's go make a
yep,
movie real quick. Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'd
Um,
have done the same thing if I could have got away
so
with it.
I'm reserving my judgment. My initial watch of Three from Hell, I didn't like it. I was pretty upset over it. It's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck was that? But I bought it. I own it. I'll watch it again.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Fair point. Fair point. Cash grabs are not necessarily bad
not necessarily.
if they're good.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of which, I am currently trying to go through Obi-Wan
Yeah.
series and Book of Boba Fett. We will talk, folks, for all of you watching us. By the way, thank you very much for watching us and spending
Yes.
time with us. And we do greatly appreciate it. Um, as we wander off on several different subjects while we do one
Oh my
movie
God.
review.
This review is all over the place because,
But it's all
yeah.
been Rob Zombie related. So that's for the most part is good up until now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about these. I'm taking little notes per episode,
Right.
not so long because whenever we do an episode for it, I don't want to be wandering for 7 hours talking about two series. I just want to try and make it as concise
Right.
as I can, and I blabber on about everything. But I am watching them because what you just said, people hating on something and just not seeing it. And I have
It,
heard so much negative shit about both of these series. One guy told me, no, they're both really good. And then you told me, yeah, you had problems here, but it was good here.
yeah,
So I
it
was
was
like,
worth a
well,
watch.
okay, I want to watch them. I want to make up my own mind. And let me tell you, it took me a long time to get to the point to watch them. But
Right.
I do recommend, if you do like Rob Zombie, and you are like, I don't know if I want to, oh, I've heard so many bad things about it. If you're a horror movie fan, watch the movie. I mean,
If you're a
you're going to like it, probably. I think you're probably going to like it.
I don't want to be seen like a gatekeeper, but
Right.
I can't imagine a horror fan not loving House of a Thousand Corpses because it checks every fucking box and it's so yes, it's silly. I mean, my God, the whole Dr. Satan stuff, the rabbit costumes, the what the fuck? What the fuck? But it was good. The waiting room. God damn it. A waiting room in an underground cavern. That's real sanitary.
Because I'm sitting here looking at it for a minute, like, what in the, who are these people? And then you texted me about the waiting room, and I'm like, oh my God, like it was so in my face. I was standing in the middle of the woods and I couldn't see the forest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are all these trees doing here? What are all these guys doing sitting in this room waiting?
The waiting room.
Like, it's a waiting room, haha. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a fucking waiting room for just these like, where the fuck did these people come from? They were all like crazy people sitting there waiting.
Yes. For him to enhance them.
I was just like, oh my God, this is nuts. But my only critique, this is my only critique, and I think maybe this is why he decided to finally get around to doing the Munsters, is I think it should have been more dark humor. If that makes sense. Because there were some scenes that I felt like, because of the direction it felt like that movie was, he initially wanted it to go, but it didn't quite go there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Like, and I know it's a little thing. And if Rob Zombie was standing here, he'd be like, "Yeah, but are you a millionaire? Are you making movies?
Well,
no, shut up."
No, I think that's a valid. I think that's a valid point. Let me roll back because there's a few scenes in there that are pretty funny. And one is massive foreshadowing with watching the Munsters on TV.
Yeah, I saw that. I just started laughing. Like,
and the dialogue between Otis and Grandpa there is so. I found that very funny. I'll show you how to drive that fucking thing. It's
like, what?
It's like, what? But then it's like all the times I've seen it, it's like, oh my God, is so much in your face with the Munsters. And it's like, look at you. Rob is a fan, and that's why I have a lot of hope that he is going to bring something really good to it. Will I like it? I don't know. I may not. I don't have to like everything that Rob Zombie touches.
Yeah. Like I said, my choice between, if I'm going to watch a series between the Munsters or the Addams Family, I'm going to the Addams Family.
Yeah.
It's just more in my macabre way of thinking. I like the Munsters.
Darker.
I thought Lily was really cool. The dragon under the stairs.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the kid's a wolf man and not.
I know. It's.
Maybe they'll fix that in this one. Maybe she'll show that her first husband was killed and that's her. I don't know.
About the dark humor aspect, I could see that working. But it just reminded me of when we did the Song of Solomon, and that's a serious movie. But it turned out after I got to watch it a few times in the theater with people, and they were laughing. I'm like, what? Oh God, that is kind of funny. Oh shit.
Right.
And I had seen the premiere in Atlanta, and the director Stephen Biro had called me and said, how was it? And I said, it was really cool. I said, but people were laughing and I wasn't prepared. And he said, was it at this scene, at this scene? He said, they're doing it everywhere. He said, I don't understand, but we got some really funny shit in here. It was not intentional. Really? And it wasn't. Yes. And there are some funny scenes in that movie. And it's dark because Jessica, the possessed, Jessica Cameron, throws up all her guts in the movie. And then she looks at the camera all possessed and says, I'm going to need these back, and starts eating them. It's the funniest fucking thing. It's like, what? It's so gross. It's like, did she, what? No. And you can't turn away as she's shoving everything back in her throat.
See, this is why I can never watch that movie. The only scene in that entire movie that I've ever seen is the scene with you in it. When you're the psychiatrist.
And I get the fuck out of the house. I leave the house. It's like, fuck you.
Your line? I want you to say your line. When they're saying, like, can you help my daughter? Can you help
I can't help you. I'm just a family therapist. Call this number. Call him.
After you see her eyes do the weird split thing, you're like,
it's like, fuck this shit. I'm gone.
To me,
Yep.
that's hysterical.
There was a lot of things, and that's what I think may happen in some things is they don't plan it, it just comes
Right.
out
Just
funny,
kind of happens. Makes
and there
sense.
and that's kind of where I think Rob Zombie had a lot of fun making House of a Thousand Corpses. It is a love
Uh,
letter to the old horror films.
oh
You
yeah.
watch this, and I see Texas Chainsaw Massacre all over this fucking movie, and that's fine. That's great because to me, TCM is such a classic that
Right.
if you're not making a nod to it, God bless you. You know, it's like the Holy Grail. Yeah, take a look at that.
I
This
definitely
one,
saw nods. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I
yeah.
saw nods to Spider Baby definitely in this.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding me of that. Another very early Sid Haig movie.
Yeah.
And when we did our Spider Baby review, I might have even mentioned, but if I didn't, I did feel House of a Thousand Corpses vibes all over that fucking
Yeah.
movie. It's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, Rob took some notes here.
He had to
With
be.
the
I bet you
crazy
he's a
family.
fan. I bet you he's
Yeah.
a fan.
How could he not be? Who could not be a fan of Spider Baby?
There's
I
another.
fucking love Spider Baby, man.
Oh, so you like horror movies? Spider Baby's what, 50, 59, 60, maybe?
Yeah.
They're black and white. Um, it's worth a watch.
Fuck
It's a
yeah.
weird it's a weird movie, but it's worth a watch. It really is. We do a review on it, and
It's one
just
of
to
our
laugh.
early ones. I think it's like episode 6 or 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was early on. It was early
The
on.
double feature with Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
Oh, I love Captain Kronos
Yeah.
Vampire. Huh? That's a great movie. That's another great movie. But
Yes.
yeah, Sid Haig, God bless him. When he passed away, nobody had a mean thing to say about the guy.
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, this guy, he was the sweetest guy in the world. He always played a villain. He always played a killer. He always played the rough, and everybody loved him. Everybody said what a sweetheart this guy was. And I'm like, wow,
Well,
that's when you lived a good life. When
and I want to add on that. And there's always a lot of discussion in horror movie groups and movie groups as well.
right?
That there's this weird assumption that these people who play psychopaths are psychopaths.
Yeah, yeah.
They're actually some of the nicest people you've ever met. Just because they can tap into that doesn't mean that's how they live. I
They're
mean,
getting it all out of their system.
I've played murderous inbred hillbilly fuckers and everything else, and I'm not that way. I consider myself kind of a nice guy. Well, sometimes, but Otis Firefly,
Yeah.
Bill Mosley. I got to meet him a few years back in New Orleans at a convention. It threw me off because he had short black hair, didn't look like a little stringy,
Scraggly.
but he sure as fuck sounded like him. It's like fuck, god damn, and he would say some lines and shit, and it was like freaky. It's like, dude, but he was so nice, and it's like,
right.
man. Mads Mikkelsen, who played Hannibal in the TV show, complete psychopath, wonderful to talk to, just warm, and all these people. It's just really cool to see. It's just such a inverse of what you see on screen. It's like, wow. So Sid Haig, I have no doubt, was a wonderful, and you're right. I have seen so many people talk about when they got to meet Sid, it was such a great experience because he was so nice. Gunnar Hansen, who was Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, super nice guy. Yeah, I mean it is. All these psychos that are on screen,
and I love hearing stuff like that about people too. It's like whenever you find out. For me, it's like when you find out that a heavy metal guy likes classical music.
I would think they all do, considering heavy metal is damn near classical music as it is.
Exactly. Now it is.
That's a whole nother podcast.
that's pretty much. I think I said what I had to say. I'm going to watch the Munsters. I'm going to make up my own mind on it. If it's good, I'm going to buy that damn DVD. We'll get back to you on Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. And our next movie is
The Wiz.
Yep. Yes, we're going to watch The Wiz.
I have never seen it. If I have, I was as a wee lad and don't remember much.
I saw it once, only once. And I think it's about time to watch it again, and we'll Make up
We'll
our
definitely
minds.
do that. So I want to give a shout out to anybody new that's come along and seen us. We do spoil the hell out of movies. We don't actually, Dave said it before, we're not really a review show. We just two old ass guys who talk about old ass movies. And we just
talk about it.
Have a good time. Occasionally we have some special guests on. So if you haven't caught it, go back and check out our review of Empire Records with Rex Manning's #1 male fan. It's a great episode to just see what we're about. So I want to ask, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. You know, if you like us, share us, engage with us, talk. We're here. So
if you have a question, if you don't,
absolutely.
If you don't agree with it, I don't mind like hearing somebody go, well, no, I like this because, or no, I didn't like this because. I don't mind. I am not going to get into an argument with anybody over it. You have your opinion. I got mine on stuff. I'm cool. I don't mind. So if you hear me say, well, if somebody likes that, they're crazy. I don't really think they're crazy. I really don't. I just don't. It's just not my cup of tea. That's why I put the caveat out there. Horror movies are not my thing.
Right.
But
and they are mine.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. The editing was spot on. Rob Zombie was onto something, I think, here. And I'm really looking forward to the Munsters. I don't understand the hate.
I will agree with that. I'll give my final thoughts on House of a Thousand Corpses. You must watch this fucking movie. That's all there is to it. I love it so much. It is one of my all-time favorites just because I don't know why. I don't know why, man. I watch it and it's like, God, this is great. This is fucking great. I think it's Dr. Satan. It does it for me. It's like, I got to wait till the end of the movie, but it's so stupid. It shouldn't work, but it does.
And he doesn't have a line in the movie.
That's the
He's
best
not
part
even
of
a main character. They just talk about him the whole time.
I want to see a Dr. Satan movie. I want to see a Dr. Satan movie. Abso-fucking-lutely. This movie in the vein of Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a little grosser, but not nearly like you would think. The gore is pretty low. There is some blood. There's a few scenes that are a little, like a little scalping and stuff.
There's a few that are uncomfortable, I would say.
But compared to the sequel, this is incredibly mild. They really ramp up the blood and guts for the next one. And it's a good way. I'm fine with that, but some people may not be. So next time we take quite a drastic shift and go to the magical world of The Wiz. So be sure and tune in and take a whiz or ride the whiz or what? Watch The Wiz.
Before you come in.
Yes, it's all about The Wiz.
It's all about The Wiz. Michael Jackson's in this movie.
Interesting.
Speaking of taking words.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
All right.
It sounded wrong, though.
We'll catch you next week with a musical. About time we got back. Later.